lose my ears. I have to turn down the volume every single time. And my eardrums not liking it. My eardrums, yeah, they hurt, yeah. Thanks to this intro. Places with some biscuit.
Hello, everyone. Paigey says the volume was too loud on that intro. That's
yeah, mate. As soon as it starts, I'm like, should I take some like paracetamol right now? Like, what's going on? I'm about to get a migraine.
The volume's fine for me. It must be the way you're.
Yeah, but you need to clean your ears out. That's what you need to do with DJ Erickson. Filled with shit.
Wait. How can it be my ears when I hear you fine here? But the audio is also fine.
Because
that means there's an issue there.
I talk through like aura, and so it comes through multiple senses. But
right.
You know what your ears are filled with? Excuses. That's what I've heard recently. Excuses 100%. From people. Is that the perfect segue into a thing you wanted to open up with, or?
No, it's not. All right. We have a few topics tonight. Obviously, we're going to talk about Green Lanterns. That's going to be the first thing, and that's probably going to be the biggest topic. What are you laughing about? What's funny?
You promised Smurfs.
There's no Smurfs. There's nothing Smurfs to talk about.
By the way, did anyone do any research on the lesbian thing? I forgot.
I mean, I wasn't really going to do research on it anyway, so I don't really know what you were expecting.
I know you don't seem like the guy to do your homework, Eric. So
there's a new Shrek trailer, by the way. I don't know if you saw that or not. There's a new trailer for Minecraft, which is a little silly. So yeah, there's a few things to talk about today. Not the lesbian stuff yet, because I don't remember what that was, to be honest.
Maybe we'll pick that up next time. Maybe a reminder: lesbian research for everyone. Yeah. Lesbian to straight, not straight to lesbian. Lesbian to straight. Reverse lesbian.
So I don't want to start out with too much like darkness in the world, because it's some weird stuff is going on. So Michelle Trachtenberg, who was on Buffy the Vampire Slayer, passed away this week. And then we had the crazy news about Gene Hackman. Did you see that?
Yeah, and it's like a bit suspicious, like the circumstances around it.
Yeah, so like I saw something else about it today, and apparently, unless the news is wrong, which it could be, like him and his wife and their pet all died. They all were found dead, which is so weird. Like I didn't see any cause of death for the pet, but I did see that apparently his wife was basically mummified. Did you see that?
Oh, no, I didn't hear that. What the hell?
Yeah, so unless that's some fake news, which it could be, his wife was found mummified and with pills scattered all over the place, and yeah, I don't know. Robert Orochi, the day before her too. Yeah, the guy from Think Star Trek, right? Yeah. It's been a crazy week. Like I remember seeing, I think it might have been last year, there were some pictures that came out of Gene Hackman where he didn't look too good. I mean, obviously you get older, the age starts to show and everything. You know, you don't look as young and spry as you were before. Look, I've always, even as a kid, I've always known Gene Hackman as like an older actor. You know what I mean? Like he's always been older. And I know that's not clearly he was acting prior to that, but the first thing I really remember him in obviously was Superman. And then he was already an older actor. So the fact that he looked that way for 3 decades before he started to show any real, changes in appearance is pretty, it's noteworthy. But there's pictures of him apparently at a gas station or something where he looked very frail. And I believe that was probably, I think it was last year sometime. So, yeah, Michelle recently had a liver transplant. Yeah, I saw some people trying to blame it on like the vaccine, and I'm like, she had a liver transplant. Like, what in the world? What are we talking about? Yeah. So I actually starred the comment here or whatever, but I'll mention it here. I actually told Paige I didn't want to get into this when we stream anyway, but I feel like drama is kind of YouTube, right?
Hold on, before you address this,
Yeah,
I think it's fitting that I intro it. Let's get right into the news.
I know people love drama. I didn't watch the stream, although I was sent several people, like not only people that are on the show here were sending me like saying, "Oh, look, he's talking about you," or whatever. Other people were like linking me to it. I just don't know if I even like. I didn't go listen to it. It's not because I have any issues or whatever, but once I mentioned what happened, unless I'm being called a liar, which I don't think that's what was happening. Most people said that there was no.
I think he called you smelly. I think that's the only.
But that's true though. That's a true statement. I don't think that's a lie. Like I clearly do smell. Yeah, it's true.
Is that pit
but unless he was saying that I was lying about something, which I don't believe I was at any point, unless there was a misunderstanding. I don't think he said that. I really don't have much else to add to the situation, right? Like I believe I said many times that I wish him nothing but the best. I didn't, he's got his own channel going on. He's got his own stuff happening. And that really, it's just the fans who kind of lost out on all this because you guys really wanted us to stream together. And I was trying to provide opportunities for it. And it didn't happen, And the only reason I even brought it up is because it had reached a point where I was getting asked about it every single time I was streaming. When is Boba coming on? When are you going to have Boba on? When is he going to join you on the stream? And so I felt bad. Like, this is somebody that Paige and I and Ben for like what years was making content together with, right? And so the fact that there's been no issues between the two of us, I felt sort of like bummed out. Like I'm messaging him and I'm even asking Paige, like, should I keep harassing him? Should I keep like bothering about this? And it was like I didn't want to. You know?
I felt bad because my suggestion was to Ted Kaczynski retaliation, but you decided that might be taking it a step too far. And I thought, well, we'll wait and see how things play out.
Yeah, I mean, but like outside of that, I thought there had to be another option, right? That was like you said that, and I'm like, well, clearly that's the only option. But then I was like, well, maybe there's another option, right? So I kept going, and I was like, I'm gonna let it go, right? Only because of the fact that I realized that the way I run my streams and the way I do my content isn't necessarily going to be everybody's cup of tea. I understand that, and that's fine. There's lots of other streamers doing stuff that, there's a lot of other people. A lot of other people out here making streams. I appreciate every single one of you guys who come here every time I'm streaming to hang out, even if you disagree with me, and I do appreciate all the people that come in and super chat and support the stream and stuff. And I just wanted to do something cool for everybody and sort of try to bring everybody back in. And clearly some people just aren't interested in doing that. And that's fine, right? My confusion about all of it was I thought that Boba was more interested in it than clearly he was. Okay. And that was on me. Maybe I should have taken the hint. Maybe that should have been maybe I should have just stopped asking. You know what I mean? And yes, I know he wrote back to me. I understand that. I'm not going to delete DMs or talk about what he talked about in confidence with me. I don't think that's right. But I will say, if you message someone, and I think anybody in the chat, any of you guys out there will know, if you message someone and you ask them if they're going to do something and they ghost you, that literally means one of two things. One, they're not interested in whatever it is that you're offering for them to do, and they just don't want to tell you no for whatever reason. Or two, you are not valuable for their time. And that's fine. I get it. I just want to move on from it.
You know what the thing with this is that this has actually a lot of similarities to the lesbian situation that we're just talking about. Like that conversation actually sounds very similar to how I could see a conversation around that playing out.
Yeah. It is. It's actually the same.
Yeah.
I think it's actually completely the same. So
yeah, that could be like a multiverse situation.
But I like Boba. Boba's a nice guy. I congratulated him on his wedding. He's got a lot of stuff happening. His channel's really popular. He's got a lot of really great fans in there. So I don't have an issue with Boba. I don't want this to turn into like one of those things where it's like back and forth between people, because that's not the way I feel about it. I have to be honest. I don't want to waste my time pursuing something that's not going to happen. And if it does happen some point down the road, then that's fine too.
Once again, this lesbian thing. Everything you're saying, Eric, if I didn't know what we're talking about, I'd assume we're talking about that lesbian
It is.
thing.
I mean, it's totally what it is. Anyway, nothing but like love for Boba. No issues, no drama. I just thought it was funny, and people kept asking me like, when is he coming back? And I wanted to be honest about it. That's it.
You know what?
And,
you know what I want?
What's that?
Cage match. I want a cage match. I think
So you want
wants.
like some Logan Paul shit? Like,
Well, bare knuckled cage fight, money to charity.
yeah. All right, guys. We have a super chat goal up right now, and I'm going to be very transparent about this one, as there's no poll for this one. I'm just raising money for fun stuff to do for my birthday stream. So if you guys want to contribute to that, I will go out and get some international snacks to try on stream. Maybe Paigey will suggest some stuff for me. So it's 5 super chats at the teal tier or higher on the Reloaded channel. So if you're watching on the Reloaded channel, 5 super chats at teal or higher, and I will bring in a bunch of cool, fun stuff for the birthday stream next Saturday. So I'm looking forward to it. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Maybe Paigey will make it here. So
it's Friday.
44. Happy birthday. Cedric says a cage match to get the chemistry good with y'all. Yeah, I know exactly.
It's either cage match or like jelly wrestling.
I would want it to be. Well, it could be both. What if it was a jelly wrestling cage match?
I don't know. That sounds dangerous.
Maybe we'll see. All right.
Hold on. Defunct did research.
Oh, okay. Here we go.
At least someone did that homework. God, Eric, you were hopeless.
The only 2 that I know I'm a bad host. Identified as lesbian for decades and settled down with a dude and identified now as straight. So maybe like 0.01% of it. So there is a chance though.
So you're telling me there's a chance.
Yeah, there is a chance. So that's cool. Again, I'll get around to watching it. I will watch it. I just didn't want to turn this stream into drama stream, so I wanted to get it out of the way. So, but I appreciate it. Oh, Naruto's binging Daredevil. Yeah, getting ready for it. We're going to be talking about that. There's a quick little interview I want to watch. But Paigey doesn't have a ton of time tonight, so we want to talk about the good stuff first. But before we get into the good stuff, before we get there, Paigey, cover your ears. Is that one as loud as the other one? Is that one as loud as the other?
It was actually worse because I misheard you. I thought you said cover your queers. So.
Oh. Well, you should do that too. I mean, if you're going to do your ears, you might as well cover your queers too. So,
yeah.
I saw this post today and it made me sad. It shouldn't have made me sad, but it did. Because I remember this was before they like roped in like Black Lightning and some of the other shows. But it's like, remember when we used to have like a show on every night of the week up until like the weekend? So it was like always something to review, always something to talk about. I just miss these days. This was really sad to me. So on, where's the actual tab here? So we had Supergirl on Mondays, Flash on Tuesdays, Arrow on Wednesdays, and your favorite show, DC's Legends of Tomorrow, on Thursdays.
Yeah, but this was this season 1?
What do you mean season 1?
Like, would this been like season 1 of Legends, season 2 of Flash, season 4?
It was right before they rolled in Supergirl and Black Lightning, I think, together into the.
No.
You don't think?
Oh
so?
no, maybe yeah. Yeah, maybe that was the year before.
Mm-hmm. Looks around the I think it was actually. Now that you mentioned that, yours truly. I think it might have been around that era because that would have made sense as they were on 4 separate nights. Cody says the golden days. Yeah. I love those trailers. I think Paigey's probably used them in videos still recently. the scenes from those fight trailers are such good trailers.
Oh, that, you know, also they don't get fucking claimed.
They don't. I've used them over and over. The ones with like the comic book panels flying
They're
through
so,
them
and the scenes are so quick. They're like, they just show like a second, and like they don't show much.
If you were doing like a 8-minute video, you can use that like 3 times in the video probably. Cedric says I don't miss the CW though. Well, I'm going to talk about the CW as well before I wrap it up today. So, Paigey has to go back to film at NCIS Sydney. Speaking of that, did you see that the Suits LA did not do well in viewership? I noticed a lot of people weren't watching that live.
Yeah, I don't know. I was sort of surprised they put it on NBC because Suits wasn't popular when it was on TV originally. It got popular off Netflix. So I was sort of surprised why they were trying to make it this. It's a show that people want to binge. But I guess maybe NBC. But then they have Peacock. But then again, they don't drop everything on Peacock at once, do they? They're week to week on Peacock.
Not usually. I don't know. All right, we're gonna look at a picture, and then should I read the whole article, or should I just kind of look at the bullet points from the article? Because I mean, there's a lot in that article, but I don't know. I feel like people always accuse me of leaving out context when I don't read the entire fucking
about
article.
The lanterns thing?
Yes.
Read this one. I'm putting in the private chat.
Okay.
Oh,
you know, last time you sent that to me, the chat roasted you for that, right? They were like, "This is the wrong one to look at." Do you remember that?
No, they didn't. No,
they did. Just the other night, the one you sent me that had all the DC stuff on it, they were like, "This is the wrong." Like the chat was roasting you.
What do you mean it's the wrong one? I think the wrong one. It had that shit on it.
I don't know what they meant by that. It's just what they were saying.
Well, this link is literally from Warner Brothers.
Well, you know what? Fuck it. I don't know.
Click it.
Lone Wolf says, Boba. Well, I'm going to look at the picture first. Boba was telling us to subscribe to you. I already am, though. Well, appreciate it, though. We got some super chats. I'll do the super chats here in just a second. Thank you guys, though. I appreciate it. All right, here we go. So this is the promo picture for the Lanterns show. And before we read anything about the show, I'm going to do what I always do, which is play both sides of the argument. So get ready. First of all, I'm okay with this pairing. They look like they are going to work well together on screen, which is cool. I think that's going to be fine. The other thing I want to say is I wanted to see more like spacey stuff. Look, I feel like am I a broken record on that? I feel like I am a broken record, but I have to be honest. When I think of Green Lanterns, I don't think of like Earthbound drama. I just don't. I don't. In my mind, I can't compute what that is going to look like as a TV show for Green Lanterns. And I know they kind of talk about it in the article we're going to look at, but this picture doesn't jump out at me like this is like a Lanterns TV show. I know we see the ring on his hand. I think there's a close-up of it here. We see the ring, which is fine. But I feel like they could have done a little bit more. What is their issue with advertising the suits? Why are we not seeing the advertising? Like, this is a James Gunn thing, it feels like, where it's like, we're going to show you pictures of them without showing the suits. Like, I don't.
Yeah, but for me, this is fine because it's not meant to be like first teaser or something. It's just start of production. Like, it's just like, we started production. Here's a look at the characters and stuff like that. Like, if they had shown either of them in a suit with any CGI, I would have been shocked. I was expecting maybe not them.
I wouldn't want CGI. Like, I'm not saying CGI. I'm saying like I would have liked to have seen a teaser.
Yeah,
like,
no, but
like the texture of the suit or something. Like,
yeah, but
I don't know.
But that's for what, Comic-Con time or something. I think for this, it's what I expected. It's fine. I think like, you get to look at the ring. I think it's an interesting thing that the ring is different than Guy Gardner's ring.
I like that, though. I like that the rings are different because people were saying that they're supposed to be the same, but they're not. If you look at the comics,
I prefer if they're different. Like, his is a ring he's had for 20, 25, 30 years. We don't know how long he's had that ring. Guy Gardner might have only had his ring for 5 to 10 years. So he should look newer.
I don't know. Chat, how do you feel? Do you think the rings should all be the same? I'm in the camp of they shouldn't be. There's an iconic cover where it shows like rings looking differently, and I'm like, this is pretty much the way it's been forever in the comics. So
yeah, but I think this is a fine first look. It sort of like gives you a, you get like you can see them like side by side. Okay, they work together. This is how they're going to look on the show as well. Because people weren't too sure if Aaron Pierre was going to have a beard. Like, what's because Kyle Chandler had like longer hair or something at this, I think, when someone saw him. Like, but it's obviously he grew it out so they could cut it.
I like him as Hal. He looks like I see it. You know what I mean? Like I see the Hal.
I see. Oh no, yeah, the casting was the best out of the bunch that they had for Hal. My issue is still that he's older, and I think like I feel like they're probably just going to kill him by the end of the show. That's my concern. I don't necessarily think that's going to happen. That's my concern with it. But from what I'm seeing here, with the what do you call them? The creatives behind it, like I still have my question marks on Tom King's involvement, and apparently he's like the brain behind the show. Like he's the one that decided the tone and stuff, which I'm like, okay, that will be interesting to see how that plays out. But I like Damon Lindelof being there and being involved, even though he's not the main dude. It's just being there in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah,
you know. But I, the only thing that's concerned me with this show, everything else I've liked, like the castings for the most part I like and everything. Or I have nothing majorly against. The only thing that's concerned me is just the overuse of the term grounded. That's the only thing that's concerned me.
Yeah, I mean,
but I also think, you know what I think?
Right.
I don't think it's going to be grounded. I think it might be like emotionally grounded, which I think is the term that should be used. I think they're using the term grounded to get the people in that don't want to watch a comic book show.
And I think when we read some of these quotes from the article, we'll see that there is a little bit of, it seems like they're trying to ease people into what the Green Lanterns are because they feel like they missed the mark from 2011. But keep in mind, we're going to see Green Lantern before, like, we will see Guy Gardner before we ever see these guys. So that's going to be everybody's, like, sort of first introduction into the Green Lanterns in the...
And I think that's why maybe they're going for that. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if episode 1 of the show isn't too out there. But as the show goes, it might... I'm struggling to remember the HBO Watchmen show, but for some reason I remember that show being very grounded, and then it got more Watchmen-y as it went into the show.
Towards
like
the
by
end,
the end, it grew more comic booky as the show went on. I could see the exact same thing happening, at least specifically with his first season, because I saw another quote where it might have been Chris Mundy. It must have been. He said that the intention for the show, or the intent, is for it to be multiple seasons. Okay. So maybe the whole, like, it builds up, and then by the end, if you're not bought in, well, you're not going to watch season 2. But this is what the show is by the end of it, and it's very... I know it's going to be very spacey and like very cosmic. I don't know how much it's going to be of that, but it's definitely going to embrace that side of the lore.
I don't think people should be talked about if that's what they want from the series, because that's what Green Lantern is. I mean, like, I feel like people asking for space stuff should not be chastised, because that's what Green Lantern is in the comic books, right? Like, yes, there are Earthbound stuff, but it is a story about space cops. So essentially, even the Earthbound stuff feels sort of otherworldly because of who the character is, right? I don't think that's a bad thing. But I also don't think people should be like, this is going to fail out the gate because this is what it's going to be. Because that's not what I want. I want to be wrong. I want to take an L on this. I want this to be an amazing show where for the first time ever, I will take an L on something. Because I feel like that's what's funny.
I mean, the first time that specific hour or something when the show ends.
Oh, it's like, no, forever, for all time.
Oh yeah, like forever.
I feel like I want to be.
Is that after a Men in Black mind wipe scenario or something?
Maybe. Cody here with a $2 super chat coming through says, Green Lanterns, how about no concept lanterns? Wow. How does that make you feel, Paigey? Is that a hot take?
I don't get it.
No concept as in there's nothing here, it's just a drama with no story?
Oh, we don't know that. We don't know that, DJ Erickson III.
Oh, I didn't say it. I was reading the super chat. Cedric here with the 1-9 super chat. New here from Boba Talks. Glad I was recommended. Well, welcome to the chat. You are welcome to disagree with me all you want.
The issue is that Cedric's going to have... Cedric, hopefully you appreciate hairy ass cheeks, because they sometimes are flaunted.
In chaps.
Well, yeah, but that's the same thing.
Amethyst here with the 199 super chat. Thank you so much. It says, did you talk about DC possibilities yet? What is that? DC possibilities?
Is that a political question?
I don't know. Amethyst, I'm not sure.
Can you explain? Are you running for government, Eric?
Never. Oh my God, Cedric said, "Let me let me box all the Green Lantern haters." That's funny. I don't know. You're gonna have to explain a little bit more, Amethyst. I'm sorry, I don't totally get it. So Serenity says, "I'm willing to give the show a chance, even if it's not what I would have done. Like I watched Swamp Thing, despite it not being what I want in a Swamp Thing show." Well, and maybe this is why you're saying this, but I think the Swamp Thing show was really solid. Like I enjoyed the Swamp Thing show. So
I like Swamp Thing, but only the CW version.
That's a lie. That's you trolling. Clearly. All right.
When they would just cut out swear words.
I know,
just like
I know.
mute the audio. It wasn't even a beep. It would just go silent for a swear word.
All right. Let's scroll through this. HBO original drama series Lanterns begins production. So these are all the bullet points from the interview, right? From Variety. Is that what this is?
Warner Brothers Discovery's website.
No, I know, but I mean, what I'm asking you is does that article from Variety have stuff in it that this doesn't? Because
I don't know.
Otherwise, okay, so then I don't. So that's all you have to say is I don't know.
Well, then you seem very aggressive with the question.
because you were playing stupid. You knew what I was asking.
Oh, my bad.
Production has commenced on the HBO original drama series Lanterns on the historic Warner Brothers lot in Burbank. The series, an HBO original production, by the way, another one that got shifted over from Max to HBO, based on the iconic DC title Green Lantern. The series follows new recruit John Stewart and Lantern legend Hal Jordan, two intergalactic cops drawn into a dark Earth-based mystery as they investigate a murder in the American heartland. We kind of knew that already. I feel like that we've already, or was it a slightly different log line? I feel like that we already knew that. It's interesting they call Hal Jordan a Lantern legend. So does that mean he was known on Earth as well as like a superhero, a very popular superhero prior to all of this? I mean, is that what you would take away from this? It says Lantern legend. I'm assuming, unless it's just he's a legend in the Lanterns and he didn't really do a lot on Earth. I feel like that's
they could use that as like a prestige thing, but also maybe like almost like a mythical thing. Like he does stuff, but he doesn't necessarily interact or something too much.
Okay, we know who the cast is already. This is from Chris Mundy, the EP and showrunner. From the start, our driving force has been to deliver a layered drama rooted in nuanced storytelling and rich world building that balances tension and mystery with honest, authentic emotion. The goal is to create something that feels timeless and grounded without sacrificing the magic of the source material. That last part sounds to me like they're just sort of playing the center, doesn't it?
Well, that to me is what I think they're going to do. They're going to, through the trailers and stuff, a lot of the like promotional stuff is going to be leaning into the grounded nature of things, just to get in maybe your standard HBO audience. Like some of them might watch Game of Thrones or whatever it is, but then it's also trying to appease the comic book side of it. But I think it's just gonna be like a diagram going up. Like the longer the show goes on, the more like magic of the source material, if you want to say, gets put in there.
So that's when you were saying like the Watchmen series, that's what you meant, right? That it's gonna happen.
Well, from memory, because I watched it twice, but I watched it like both watches like fairly close together. But at least I remember that show starting off very grounded, but then it lent into like where you get like Dr. Manhattan showing up. Yeah, like later in the thing, and they lean more into like some of the comic booky stuff, even from like the original Watchmen story and stuff.
Let's see here.
Eric's loving it.
Yeah, I was trying to see there was much more stuff in the article, but I don't know. I guess we can kind of read through it quickly. I'll kind of glaze over it.
I know you love to glaze, Eric.
Oh God, there we go. It doesn't really say anything else here. I thought there's not much on this.
Apparently, through my own research, aka reading the chat, apparently the Vanity Fair article, not Variety, the Vanity Fair article, So I don't know. Do you have a Vanity Fair article at Reach?
Yes. Yeah. That's what I have.
You said Variety.
Well, you know how they all take each other's stories. So the original
Yeah,
source
but
was probably Vanity Fair. So, let me see here. I'll pull it up. All right, here we go. All right. There's so much fluff in these articles. God.
Just
I almost want to put it in like AI and be like, tell me what's important.
You know does this doesn't Vanity Fair do the questions thing? So you can scroll down, like you'll see the questions involved. Oh no, I was lying. Oh my god.
See, that's so annoying. I hate reading. All right. We're gonna do this very quickly. All right.
Why am I reading 9/11? Oh, 9/11.
Oh yeah, because there's no like slash in it. In the vast and colorful universe of DC Comics, where there's no shortage of imperiled planets that could use some superhero 911, the Green Lantern Corps is an intergalactic police force that patrols every sector of the cosmos. Wearing domino masks and armed with power rings, they conjure whatever their minds and wills can muster. Their solemn oath doubles as energizing magical words for their enchanted bling. Here we go, Paigey. Are you ready? In brightest day, in blackest night, no evil shall escape my sight.
Oh, you fucked it. You fucked it.
But I was trying to put a little accent on it. Beware my
power. What accent?
Light.
Northern Virginian.
No, it's an Australian accent.
What's a Virginian accent? Y'all. Hey, y'all.
It sounds similar to Tasmania, so you should know that because that's where you're from. So you should.
Well, that sounds like, what's his name? Sloth from the Goonies? Is that?
It's fucking stupid. HBO's Lanterns, now to production, embraces every high concept about genie-esque space cops while being rooted in the earthiest of TV genres. The prestige pulp detective show. That makes me so nervous. I don't like that.
You know what it is, Eric? It's time for you to stop being nervous.
I'm nervous, though. I feel like it's like anxiety or some shit. I don't know. Kyle Chandler plays Hal Jordan, a seasoned Lantern approaching retirement. Aaron Pierre plays John Stewart, the trainee who will replace him. Together, they investigate a murder in Nebraska, of all places. Which leads them to still dark. I mean, is Stargirl going to show up? Is that what's going to happen? You're going to see Stargirl, the JSA?
Is the Injustice Society hiding out somewhere in Nebraska?
Oh, Icicle. All right. So I don't like pulp detective shows. No, and anybody in the chat asking me, no, it's not my cup of tea. All right, Murder in Nebraska, which leads them to still darker mysteries as well as reckonings. Leading the Lantern's charge is writer showrunner Chris Mundy, an Emmy-nominated veteran of crime dramas who oversaw Ozark. I did like Ozark though, during its celebrated 4-season run, and also served as executive producer on the Jodie Foster season of True Detective. Didn't watch that. A comic book neophyte, he was recruited to the mission by DC Studios' James Gunn and Peter Safran. I was really drawn by the challenge of fun and creating something really grounded inside this big, amazing mythology. From the beginning, we talked about was how can we take all the things we loved about the source material and turn it into a layered human HBO drama. Sorry, I had to take a second there. Just the idea of trying to pull that off was exciting to me. Can we look? And people are going to disagree with me, and Paige, you're probably going to disagree with me on this, but why do we have to try to change things so much? You know what I mean? Like, why? What is is there something massively beneficial from taking a fun space cop franchise and turning it into True Detective? What's fun about that? To me, it's not fun to me. I'm sorry. It's not. And look, I'm not saying it's not going to be good. I'm saying that doesn't sound exciting or fun to me. There are lots of DC characters you can do that with. It doesn't need to be Green Lantern.
Yeah, but I mean, you could present something as overly fun and stuff like that. Oh, it's going to have a fucking talking squirrel who has a Green Lantern. And then you watch it and it's a bag of ass and it's boring as well.
I didn't say anything about talking squirrel. You were creating an argument that I didn't make.
I'm saying that could be the opposite of this. Like they could say that and then it could be the most boring piece of shit ever. It's like, what the hell? It wasn't worth the talking squirrel.
This sounds like it could be boring too. Like you're saying that like this. You're saying that like this can't also be that thing. You know what I mean?
No. Yeah, but I think that, like it's through that description there where it has layers to it. So it has that dark you know, and I can't remember who it was, but we brought up in the thing where like I hadn't seen Ozark, but someone said it was like a bit bleak. But if you have that bleak undercurrent with the story and stuff, but the characters like, you know, Hal Jordan, Jon Stewart, who even Sinestro, if he's got a bit of swag to him, if you want to put it. If you have those like characteristics and they have a bit of, you know, charisma around them and stuff, then that elevates the show.
Riz, they got some Riz behind them.
Well, I don't know. Do you want to see Hal Jordan Riz Jon Stewart? I don't know. It's up to you.
Well, Riz is charisma. It's
but more in like a sexual nature.
Why not?
Well, I don't know. It is HBO. They might do something gay. I'm not too sure. Might be a three-way with Sinestro. I'm not too sure.
Power cock rings. Anyway, move on. Go ahead.
That was way too far. Oi, like that's. I think I go far. That can we get an AO in the chat? I'm like, what the hell? Can we get an AO in the chat?
I mean, look, if they're gonna go, like, change is good, right? The chat saying change is good. Why not?
Yeah, there's a difference between that and
why not? If we're gonna have squirrels with power rings, just
yeah. I don't know. Yeah. Eric is geeking out way too hard at the moment.
Okay, go ahead. Finish your thought. I'm sorry.
I got power cock ring on the mind at the moment. Hold on. I'm trying to recenter. I'm trying to get grounded now.
You should just get locked in. That's what you need to do.
Well, if you weren't geeking out so hard. But yeah, you just need to balance that with like the characters and stuff. And as I said before, I think they're gonna like start off in that maybe a bit more darker, and it gets a bit more not light in tone, but at least, you know, it has different elements to it where there is like, I think mainly that dynamic between Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart is where that comedy and stuff is going to be. But
so where do you think the comedy is going to lie though? Because I will say this, Jon Stewart historically is not the funny Lantern, and Hal Jordan isn't really the funny Lantern either. That's usually one of the other Lanterns. Like, yeah, but they tried the funny Lantern thing with Ryan Reynolds, and we see how that turned out.
Yeah, but right? I think it's more just their pairing and the coupling there, like the odd.
So you think like the buddy cop new guy on the team is the funny part of it? Okay,
and like and it's more like, do they work together, or is there like a respect there? But you know, so I think that's where it could come from. And also, you don't know what other elements they're going to include. But also, I don't expect this to be a dramedy. I don't expect it to be a comedy based off.
I don't think so either. But didn't James Gunn say that there's going to be a certain like overall vibe to the whole DCU? Didn't he say that? Like, it's hard.
He said that, and then he said the opposite. So I don't know where to go.
He's done that a lot lately.
I think it might be with the movies. There's more of a consistent flow, but with the TV stuff, that's where it goes a bit different. Like I didn't expect Lanterns to be in the way that Creature Commandos was or Peacemaker is, for example.
Right. Okay. Fair enough. All right. With Monday citing True Detective and Slow Horses as tonal touchstones, Lantern sounds light years away from the dimly viewed 2011 feature film of Green Lantern starring Ryan Reynolds, who has spent years meta apologizing for it. I think it's more of a tongue-in-cheek joke now, the apologies.
I think he's like, I will say this, the 2011 Green Lantern movie is not bad. It's just not great. It's just mid. It's just like
you're running defense for it. Is that what you're doing right now?
I'm not running defense because I'm not saying it's good, but it's also like the people act like it's the worst comic book movie ever. And I'm like, go watch that movie if you haven't seen it.
I don't think that. I don't think it's the worst comic book movie ever. There's a lot of really bad comic book movies. It
was a bad like first step for DC. Like they needed a much better movie because that was meant to be their Iron Man.
I will say that the idea with what they did with the main villain was really stupid. But outside of that, I think the rest of it was okay. While not adapting any specific storyline from the 85 years of Green Lantern comics, the series is nonetheless steeped in the spirit and arcana of canon produced by a multitude generation of writers and artists. Kyle has been so ridiculously good in so many things. He's also funny and a dry wit way, which is important for the character. I actually think that is really good for Hal Jordan. I think a dry wit.
Well, I think it's also like the fact he's experienced. He could see Jon Stewart make rookie mistakes and just sort of like
and give him shit for it.
Give him shit for it, but then like
you know, like you're on the job and they're like, oh, you can't do this thing because it's bad. And then they do it and they're like, see, I was right. And then it ends up being like a massive failure later on. That's what I think is going to happen.
Yeah. It's like when we did those geography tests and we said, Eric, point out Virginia, and he pointed at Texas. And
I did. Yeah. It's exactly like that. He's going to make us all look really good, basically. I think Kyle's going to kill the role. You know, we talked about the possible people to be cast in this. I know a lot of folks didn't like the idea of Kyle, but I think he is the right choice based on what we saw, to be honest.
I think the criticism around that is because they were aiming for like, what was it, like Matthew McConaughey and like all these people that would normally be in movies, like A-listers and stuff. And like Kyle Chandler's like an A-list TV guy. Like he's been like
he's that guy. So look, he's one of those guys where you and I know other people in the chat probably feel this before, where you watch a show and you don't always know their name, but you know you've seen them somewhere else. That's kind of Kyle Chandler. Like he's an actor where he might not be a household name, but you're like, I've seen that guy. He was in that one show, that one season, and then you have to look it up online to figure out who he is. That's who Kyle Chandler is. But he's still a great actor, so there's nothing wrong with that. It's just one of those things where this might be that role that sort of like stamps him into culture, if that makes any sense. The original Green Lantern, Alan Scott, a more magic-based superhero, was created in 1940 by Martin Odell and Bill Finger during the golden age of comics, when Pagey was alive and well. In 1959, Silver Age legends John Broome and Gil Kane rebooted the franchise for a space era with a more sci-fi premise, introducing test pilot Hal Jordan and the Green Lantern Corps concept. John Stewart was introduced in 1971 during a run by modern giants Dennis O'Neil and Neil Adams. It was acclaimed for his bold, blunt address of real-world social issues. That's interesting. That's what people are going. It's woke. It's fucking woke. That's what they're going to say. They're going to be so mad about that for them putting in the article. All right, here's the part of the article, finally we got to it, where a lot of the quotes I've seen coming from. Our lanterns have the rings. I mean, we saw it in the picture. Clearly they do. And all the power they bring, and other characters and aspects of the lore are going to show up or be name checked. So that's a positive, right? I feel like that's good. But it's a series that explores who these guys are when they're on the job and when they're out of uniform. I fucking knew it, Pagey. I knew it.
Is that where the cock ring comes into it, or?
We're going to see them doing their laundry. We're going to see them collecting their mail out of their mailbox. I did not sign up for that at all when I watched the show. I don't pay my hard-earned money to watch people have a hot dog. Okay?
Why are you getting phallic with everything, Eric? Why are you...
I'm not. I'm just saying. When I pay the big bucks, I want to see action. I don't want to see everyday shit. I can look outside my window and see that. Anyway.
Are you already pay for HBO?
I'm just kidding. God. All right. It's designed. This is the part that people are getting triggered by. I remember seeing a lot of people triggered by this one. And Paige, I need you, when I read this and after I'm done reading this, I need you to break down why people don't need to be triggered by it. Okay. And speak specifically to those people. All right. It's designed to be accessible for people who don't know the mythology, but hopefully really satisfying for people who know it backwards and forwards. So what would you say to people that are triggered by that?
It's just like you don't have to read Harry Potter or Lord of the Rings or Game of Thrones to watch those shows. There's deeper mythology and the further things explained in those books, but the show is not inaccessible to you just because you haven't read those books. It's the same thing here.
So this isn't them trying to pander to the normies? Is that what you're saying?
Well, it's a fucking show. If they tried to make a show that was pandering to comic book, no show would make money, or no movie would make money. It has to appeal to you.
It's typical Hollywood shit, Pagey, right? Yeah. Like they don't care about the comic books.
Well, people are legitimately getting angry about this.
I did. I saw some tweets about it. So like people saw several. I saw several Reddit threads with about 5 replies of people
there you go, Reddit.
Very, very angry about this. Before we continue,
you would have been better going into the bathroom of your club and reading the wall, seeing what people wrote on there while they're half drunk, half blind of alcohol.
Amethyst here with the $5 super chat. My vote is Crisis, as in Gunn 6 years big Avenger level movie, not Infinite or Crisis or possibly Justice League. Oh, so like whether or not we're going to see a big movie. I don't think you said 6 years. I think we have to wait longer for like a Justice League movie. That's just my thoughts. I don't think we're going to see a Justice League movie in 6 years. Do you? Maybe.
Mate, that Batman movie has to be out in time, so that'd probably be the status of that. If Batman's not out, then it probably won't be Justice League, or it's going to be Justice League without Batman. But I find that hard to believe.
Well, we'll see. We got a $1.99 super chat from Anonymous. Did Kathleen leave or is it false? Also, Boba update. You got to rewind to hear the stuff about Boba that we talked about at the beginning. Kathleen, I will talk about later on because Paigey has to dip out, and we'll talk about it then. But I am going to cover it. Thank you for the super chat. I do appreciate it. Let's see here. All right, let's continue because I know you got to get out of here soon. Where's it at? All right. Lanterns is set in its own. This is another part that is triggering people. Lanterns is set in its own creative realm, separate from other current or forthcoming DC Studios films and shows. We're not a part of the larger storytelling plan right now. Season 1 is designed to be its own complete season of television that hopefully will become mini seasons of television. So this has got people, they're upset, Paigey, because this, according to James Gunn, and I have a clip, if people don't believe me, we can watch the clip. He said that this show was going to be very important to the rest of the DC, the greater DC. He said,
yeah.
Now we're saying, now this is what's being said about it. So this is where people are calling James Gunn a filthy, dirty liar. They're saying that he absolutely lied. But let me jump in here. Let me throw him a bone on
this. You're already talking.
Let me jump into my own conversation here. I'm gonna throw him a bone. So hold on. Let me pause for a second. Let me jump in here and throw him a bone. So I believe.
Sorry, Ghost of Saint Nicholas. I'm gonna jump in here right now.
Yeah. I think he probably made those statements before they had a full concept for the show, right? I mean, I feel like that's what happened.
It could be the same because we heard that Lands was meant to like be like where the mystery starts in the larger DC thing, that the story they're telling. But maybe it's not a large piece of their storytelling in season 1. So it's in there, but maybe it's undercut a bit. I don't know. I always thought it was a bit weird to maybe put that first, maybe big thing in a TV show. But then again, they're probably hoping that this is the biggest show that they do because it's probably going to have a lot of money put into it and stuff like that.
Right.
But I sort of want it to, especially with the nature of the show and stuff like that. I'm thinking like what big thing would they do in this show, starting it off, that would then lead into this to be a much bigger thing in the larger DCU, like folding into the films and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Maybe they might have changed their plans. I don't know. It was a while ago.
It was a year ago. It was over a year ago. It was the beginning. It was that January thing that he did.
It's over 2 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm assuming that it just changed, like the plans changed. But I will say, people have to make their minds up, because think about this. People have been so mad at Marvel for making everything so connected that you have to basically do quote unquote homework to go and watch and enjoy something. But then they're also mad that the Green Lantern show is going to be slightly disconnected, meaning you don't have to watch everything to enjoy the show. What do you think is like the middle ground for that? What do you think is like, it's like a pineapple on pizza thing. Like it's either you like it or you don't. And I don't, is there a perfect space for this kind of like media to exist, or is it just always going to be people complaining about it?
Well, Well, that's the thing, because the Marvel stuff's only ever come up once the Disney Plus stuff came out. Like when it was just the movies, it was like, you just go watch the movies, like one or two, maybe 3 movies a year if there's a lot there. But now there's a TV thing, and I can understand it. And the main issue just becomes because it's like England sometimes doesn't get these shows for like 3 months after they're done. Like remember Ben was like, just watch Peacemaker, and it was like, bro, the show's been over for 3 months. And he's like, no, but it just came out in England.
Oh, that's right. I did forget about that.
Remember that?
Was it something delayed for you too? A TV show? Wasn't there something that was delayed for you? I can't remember what it was. I feel like it was.
Maybe it might have been like something on like, it had to be something on like an obscure service, like maybe
I don't remember.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, did I send you that thing where HBO Max is launching in Australia now?
Yeah, I did see that. When does that come? When does that happen? Like
end of March, March 31st. So pretty much a month, and it's all the HBO stuff can't be on the thing that's on at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
So the only thing that's continuing airing on Binge, which is the current service, is the White Lotus. So when that ends, no more HBO content on Binge. It all goes to HBO Max.
So does that mean you have to pay for a separate like streaming thing now?
I don't know. I'm going to toss it up I'm going to see what's going on. I'm hoping like if I keep Binge, but then again, like I'll see what HBO Max has and stuff when it launches here, because it's probably going to have different stuff.
All right. Hold on, where we at? All right. Let's continue. This is where it's going to get to the iffy stuff for you, because I know how you feel about this one person they're talking about. Monday's creative team includes 2 leading lights of superhero storytelling and mystery serials noted for their interest in the human, spiritual, and political dimensions of fantastical characters. That's a mouthful. The premise for Lanterns was initially pitched by Tom King. Isn't that one of your like iffy things? Like you know.
Well, my thing with Tom King is that he does really good stuff with things that people don't really care about. And you see they nominate Vision, like when he wrote that, no one really cared. Mr. Miracle, no one really cared. And
the Human Target was not good. Sorry,
no one really cared. Yeah. So whenever he does stuff with like bigger
but Mr.
characters,
Miracle was good though, right? Wasn't that a good series?
He does really good work with characters that people don't care about for the most part. So it's like there's no expectations, I guess. But when it's with a larger character, people don't really vibe with it a lot of the time. It's a lot, not all the time, but he's very, very, very mixed.
So we won't get like power cock rings, right? Is that what you're saying with Tom King? That's not going to be a.
I don't know. Maybe Damon Lindelof. Maybe I'm not.
I was going to say. So we also have Damon Lindelof, who I actually like. Damon Lindelof. Like I think he did The Leftovers, which obviously we've talked about. How much you love that. I love Lost, even though I know it's not great. And then we have Watchmen included there. So look, you have this person that you're kind of iffy about, but then this person is pretty like rock solid hard, right? Like Damon Lindelof.
What did you watch before this stream? Were you gooning? What the fuck, Eric?
I didn't say. Like solid is a term, right? Like rock solid.
Yeah, solid, and then you went to rock hard. Like, what's going on? What's going on today? You're on something. I don't know if it's Viagra or something.
I'm not.
What's the thing? Like tiger testicles? What are they? Like an aphrodisiac?
I don't know. These wordings. All right. I love Tom's comics, particularly Vision, and I loved Ozark. Right there, you have a cool mashup of things. So when they asked me if I wanted to join the team, I was ready for the road trip. This is Damon Lindelof. Well, what I've always loved about Green Lantern is that he's a superhero whose imagination is the greatest strength in terms of using his ring to conjure amazing things. It's cool to me, especially as an artist. The other thing I loved about the Green Lantern Corps, besides this diverse range of male, female, and this line is weird. The other thing I loved about the Green Lantern Corps, besides its diverse range of male, female, and alien characters, is the fun, camaraderie, and competitive tension between its members. I don't know. Something about that wording is weird to me. I don't know what it is. It's a community of lone wolf cops with an idealistic ethos that demands a lot of them, that makes up for a rich source of drama. I mean, I guess, right? I mean, okay. That's a little bit deeper than what I would think about. I don't know. I don't think of it that way usually. Like, I wouldn't word it that way. Maybe it's just, maybe I'm a little bit more surface level with Green. Is it that deep for you with Green Lantern or no?
Not really, DJ Erickson. Not really.
I mean, I feel like if they're going to go deep, they have to go all the way in.
Stop.
You know what I mean?
Stop. You're even creeping me out.
Okay. All right, we got some super chats here. $5 super chat from South Texas Shark. Paigey, are there cultural stereotypical differences in Australia between states like the U.S., Texas, and New York? Yeah, that's a good question. Is there anything like that in Australia? Because you have like New South Wales and like
you might refer to things differently. Like it's mainly like maybe like just specific items that people might call differently, but like not really. Like accents, like there's some like South Australia has a different accent with certain words. Like they say like you know like there's like for example there's like Grant Gustin. They'd say Grant Gustin. But I'd
like
say
cicada, right? Is that what you're saying?
Well, no, everyone says cicada. If you say cicada,
well, it's actually cicada. It's cicada, right?
It's cicada. But then there's like, yeah, but there's difference with like sport and stuff like that. Like half the country is like dominant with one sport, half the country's like dominant with another sport. So there's things like that. But stereotypes. I mean, there's a Tasmanian inbred thing. They're all inbred down in Tasmania.
Yeah, but you told me that's real.
I don't know if there's scientific proof. It might be like that lesbian situation. We might do some research.
We need more research. Just people in the chat do some research on that for the next stream, so we have that.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I think a lot of I know like serial killings, like South Australia, they have like Snowtown, New South Wales. We had Ivan Milat.
Wait, didn't that happen? Hold on. Wasn't Melbourne? It was, where was the Snowtown at?
Adelaide, South
Adelaide,
Australia.
That's it. Yeah. Gotcha. All right. Cody with the $5 super chat. Thank you so much. The comic book side of the fandom is so fucking picky with this shit because they have very specific needs that need to occur in adaptations. And it's very weird because Paigey is known for being pedantic and really like nitpicking everything. And I'm just like, you need to chill out. It's going to be fine. And I'm always right. Paigey's always wrong about it. And then we have to sort of, no, seriously though. Yeah, I would say this is probably like, I would say 98% of the arguments that happen online is over stuff like this, right? Like, I feel like somebody will tweet something out and it will say the most surface level criticism. And all of a sudden there's 5,000 people quote tweeting it, like telling them to jump off a bridge and stuff. You know what I mean? Like telling them to go to Tasmania, something along those lines. I don't know. Is there anything you're super picky about? Like, is there something that would change? They could change in, I don't know. Let's pick like Superman. Is there something in Superman that they could do that would change your opinion? Like, could you see them doing something going too far with Superman to the point where you're like, yeah, I'm not down with that? Because I know you are very forgiving with adaptations. So is there something in Superman that would do that would make you go, yeah, that's not cool?
What? So if they went too far with a certain thing, what would make me?
Okay, let me create a scenario. Okay, I'm going to create a scenario. Say, for example, they change Superman's home planet to something else. Would that be like? Would that be something where you're like, fuck this, I'm not even going to watch it? Is that? Oh well, yeah.
They change it from Krypton to fucking like, I don't know, like downtown New York or something like that. I'd be like, hold on, what's going on here?
Right.
I don't know, like something like. I guess it has to be like something, maybe that like something weird where like he didn't have a Clark Kent side or something. Like that's somewhere where I could easily see someone doing an adaptation like that where they just remove the Clark Kent side of him and just make him Superman.
Yeah,
I could easily see them like that.
So I feel like that's the end of. There's not much else here. They're just kind of talking about Aaron now and Kyle. I don't have any issue. Like, there's nothing they could say about these guys that would change my opinion. I think they're gonna. To me, visually, they work. So I don't have too much of an issue with that. And just cancel that. My concern is really the story. But that's. But the thing about that is I'm not going to know what that is until we actually get to that point. You know what I mean? Like, it's not going to, there's nothing they can say to me now that is going to literally change how I feel until we see the show. And we've got to wait. I think it's like it's next year, right? It's 2026 is when it comes out. So it's going to be a minute before we get to that point. But other than wanting to see some space shit, I like the promo for this so far. I think it's good. So, but you said you have to run out. Do you have to go now, or?
Yeah, I'm gonna go now.
Okay.
My final thoughts are: I think you need to go see like therapist Eric. After all that, what
are you talking about?
Some of that terminology used was very concerning.
Oh, okay. Well, I just read I was reading the script you gave me. Maybe you should try revising.
Oh, okay. Oh, sorry. I sent you the wrong one then. My bad.
Oh, okay. Got it. You sent me the geeked out one. You're supposed to send me the locked in one. That's what it was.
Stream on the Blue website later on.
Yeah, gotcha. We'll have to change that up next time and be careful about it.
Yeah, if you're wondering, that's the Smurfs.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. All right.
Oh, yeah. Bye.
All right, bye. See you later. I had to make him feel uncomfortable. He does it to me all the time. All right, so let's do this. We're going to talk a little bit about... You guys want to talk about Daredevil for a second? We have a clip here from an article here. And this is talking to Bullseye from Daredevil. And I'm excited. I haven't watched this yet, so I'm excited to listen to this. It's a minute and 30 some seconds. You know how we do here. It's probably going to take me a while to get through this clip. I sent an invite out to a special guest. Let's see if they have responded to me. Well, special to me, but not someone that we have, that's not, I don't even know what I'm saying now at this point. I have a person that I asked to join us to see if they show up or not. We'll see if they come on. And they have arrived. They are officially in the house. So when I bring them up, everyone say hello to them and make them feel welcome because it's been a week and a couple of days since they've been here. So here they go. Welcome to the stage, 3Dub.
Hey, how's it going?
3Dub is here. Good. How are you, 3Dub?
I just woke up, so pretty good.
Okay. 3Dub, I actually have pizza in the fridge waiting for me when we're done with this. I put it in the fridge.
I had it for lunch, so
yeah. Well,
Domino's pan.
that's what I had. That's what's in my fridge. That's the only delivery pizza people should be getting is Domino's pan pizza. If you're getting anything else, either you don't live near a Domino's or you don't know the rules. The rules are Domino's pan pizza. Here, if you do the national coupon, and I'm not sponsored by Domino's, you can get one for $9.99, which is, please tell me 3W used that coupon.
I do.
Okay.
I also use the $6.99, so I get 2 for the price.
Oh, so you're gaming the system then. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Got it. All right. Everybody's welcoming you to the chat. Good to see that. All right. We got a super chat here from Staggervore. $4.99 super chat in the house. If anybody saw the pilot of Suits LA, you'd be surprised to see who they cast as the No, I'm not surprised. You know who it is, right, 3Dub?
I haven't seen the pilot, so not yet, anyways.
It is Eobard Thawne, the OG, not
Seriously?
Yes, the actual real Eobard, not Wellsabard.
Wow.
So Matt Lesher is his dad.
Wow.
How does that happen? I don't know.
Barry, what did you do?
Yeah, but I've heard the show's not very good, so I've only seen clips of it. But yeah. So when I was acting upset that you didn't watch it, that was me deflecting because I haven't watched it yet. So
it's kind of hard to go with the OG show. So I mean,
yeah. Are you ready for Daredevil Born Again, 3Dub?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
I'm ready.
Have you done a rewatch of Daredevil yet?
Oh, I've watched them all, even Iron Fist.
Okay. All right. So this is a interview on the red carpet for the premiere. I guess they were doing like the press premiere with the actor who plays Bullseye. Someone told me we should watch this. I don't know if you've watched it or not, but let's see what he has to say. Hopefully the volume is good. If it's not in the chat, tell me how much I suck and I will turn it up.
Now, in the first episode, I wanted to ask you about this because there's this incredible shot in the stairwell of your eyes, right? And they're just completely psychotic and unhinged. How important was it for you to get that comic book accurate look of Bullseye across in that moment?
I also want to point out the fact that he is coming back after the teaser at the end of season 3 is fucking great. Like, and Charlie and Vincent said they are looking at this as if it's a season 4 of the show. That's the way they're looking at it, even though it's titled Daredevil Born Again. So I think that's really cool. All right.
First of all, I will say it means a lot to me that shot meant something to you because we had done a few takes and I was struggling figuring out how to make this mask work to give a performance. And I went to Phil after we had done a couple takes and I said, Phil, follow me in really close on this next take and I'm going to give you something but it's going to be right in my face. And that's, an essential part of who Bullseye is he is somebody who can get pretty unhinged. So conveying that with a full mask on is a little bit more challenging than otherwise, but I'm always looking for ways to convey that part of this guy who can sometimes present like a normal person and sometimes presents like the last guy in the world you want to end up in a hallway with.
Do you think you...
So this is my out crazy Colin Farrell. I was about to ask, do you have a preference of which Bullseye you like better? Because I know we've seen both of them now. We had a full season of the proto Bullseye with this character. And we have Colin Farrell in the Daredevil movie. Which one do you prefer, 3Dub? And there's no wrong answer. I just want you to tell me which one you like better.
I kind of like the Bullseye in the Daredevil movie.
Okay.
I didn't like his plan in the season 3, obviously, because I felt like it was going backwards with the Daredevil because he basically was reborn. Right. And he started over from the black suit. And I'm like, I get it, but at the same time, I'm like, I don't like he's going.
You know how many people hated him putting that black suit back on? They were just like, why is he doing this? So
probably a lot.
Yeah, it was a lot of people. But I liked Bullseye, but I feel like we're going to get the actual real Bullseye in this season. I think we're going to get like the real deal character, not just the one dressed up as Daredevil. So that's pretty exciting.
I
He
hope
might out crazy Colin.
Go ahead.
I hope he gets the comic book accurate costume.
We know that he gets something. There were some I think behind the scenes pictures, like set photos that showed him wearing something, if I remember correctly. I don't want to get too spoiled. We're so close. I'm not digging through behind the scenes photos. We're so close to the season coming out that I want to wait. So
Colin Farrell.
I mean, it's certainly my goal. Let's put it that way. My goal in life is to out crazy Colin Farrell.
Speaking of comic book accurate, a lot of fans, they want to know if the costume you
I just thought about this. How wild is it that Colin Farrell is currently playing Penguin, right? So he's doing this amazing role as Penguin, and he's still active in superhero movies. And then this guy's playing Bullseye at the same time that Colin is playing Penguin. It's like we're in the weirdest timeline ever. It's so weird.
you're wearing is the MCU Bullseye costume, or if that's sort of an evolution, and we might see him get a new suit as the series goes on.
The version that we get at the beginning of this season is one version of the suit, and God willing, I don't get killed by somebody in the near future. Hopefully, you'll get to see more versions of it over time.
Mr. McDuffie.
That's amazing. So he's confirming that I hope he's confirming that he's not going to get killed off, because I want him to go. Like, I want him to get locked up so we can see him again. I don't want them to kill him off, because I hate that. I hate when they do that.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
We got good billing. Oh, he's dead again.
yeah. All right, so let us move on to another topic here. I guess you have to close the Vanity Fair thing, which, by the way, you weren't here for the chat, but give me your general thoughts on the Green Lantern news. Like, how are you feeling about it? Are you excited for the show? Like, where's your head at with all of this, with the Green Lantern stuff?
I'm still like cautious. I'm not too enthusiastic about it, but what particular news are you talking about?
The picture they released with the two Green Lanterns and everything.
Still not enthusiastic. I did see that.
Yeah.
They're walking on a road.
Yeah, I know. That sounds asking. Like, you know. All right, so there's this article here, and we're going to talk briefly about this. I don't want to spend a lot of time on this one, only because I feel like nobody really cares that much about it. But I do want to mention it because it is sort of like a holdover from what the CW that we know and love. I don't know if you saw earlier, but I talked about the fact there was a time where we were getting like one Arrowverse show every single night of the week except for Friday. And actually at one point we were getting it Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and nothing on Friday and Saturday. That was like the golden era of the Arrowverse on CW. But it says here, the CW will become profitable in 2026. Nexstar reaffirms with 40% of its programming now sports. We're not going to read the article. I've already read it, though. And in the article, they kind of go over why it's going to be profitable. And they talk about laying off people from, Warner Brothers and stuff like that. They talk about getting rid of all their scripted stuff and putting out reality TV shit, game shows, and sporting stuff. This network is literally nothing like the network that we loved just a few years ago. It's just
What's funny is CW was never supposed to be profitable.
Never.
It was profitable.
Yeah, they made money. They made
Well,
billions of dollars off of The Flash and Arrow when they sold it to Netflix for streaming rights.
I'm like, the scripted shows made it profitable. You're taking that away.
Yeah, and look, I understand that they came in and they were trying to like make back the money they spent on the debt that they had for the CW, but they literally got rid of all of the important stuff that I think people loved about it and said, oh, by the way, our audience is this, this, and this. And they still haven't actually catered to that audience. Right now, they're just literally putting out sporting stuff and reality TV garbage. That's all they're doing.
For like me, while looking at TV, I would skip over CW right now.
Yeah.
Trying to find something interesting to watch.
There was casting for The Boys that came out. I think I saw something about
Misha
that.
and Jared.
Oh, that's right. Hold on. We'll watch the video. There's a video here. Hold on. All right.
Pretty cool that they're still friends.
Yeah. All right, here we go. Let's watch the video because the chat demanded it.
Hey, Jared, we got work to do. Again.
Okay. I'll tell Misha. Misha, we got work to do.
Okay. What are we doing?
All right. Look, I have to say, I was not super excited for this season of The Boys originally because I just felt like it was going to be the same stuff we've been getting every season. Okay. How do I put this without sounding super shilly about it? But I loved Supernatural.
Mhm.
So seeing the three of them back together on a show I think it guarantees they're going to get their numbers up. I think it's going to get the numbers up for sure.
I also think that I'm going to be the one going screaming like a little girl when I see them, like in the same scene, playing like either superheroes or like fighting each other.
I just think it's like one of those things where think about what the CW got rid of. They basically like got rid of all of these guys and all their shows. And they're coming back together on The Boys because I think they understand, these guys over here, the team behind The Boys, that the fans love those guys together.
Mm-hmm.
They love them together. And why not give the fans what they want? That's what you should be doing. You should be giving fans what they want as long as it doesn't jeopardize the story. Now, of course, they could come along and the story could be absolute dog shit. But if they're going to give us a little bit of fan service, I think people will overlook some of the, like, if you can put the poop in the bag, you know what I mean? Like, just take the dog shit, put it in the bag, plug your nose, throw it away. I think there can still be some redeeming qualities. But I will say that I think just having them back together is enough for people to give it a shot, to tune in and see what the season's going to be about. That's what I think.
It's going to feel like Supernatural 16.5.
Was there a Supernatural comic book? Somebody said there was.
There was an animation, and I think there's a comic book. I'm not entirely like 100% sure. I do know that there's like a fandom based kind of like where they make up stories.
Oh, okay. Well, all right. Let's jump over here. We're gonna rapid fire through some of these stories. I do want to talk about. Well, we're gonna watch the Shrek trailer. I haven't seen it yet. We're gonna watch that and the Minecraft trailer. I haven't seen either one of those. They released new trailers. So here we go. This is one that's been confirmed. I guess is that X-Men 97 season 2 will release in 2026. And in this article, they said the plan is to have a new season every year.
So by year 2050, there's going to be like 50 seasons.
3 times. Like, you really think that's what's going to happen?
Well, they said every year. I mean,
I think they mean for as long as the show is on the air. Like, I don't think they mean every year after that. But I will say Bo DeMaio is losing his shit about this because he's upset that the second season of this got kind of ripped apart because he's not part of the creative team. But I love the first season, and no offense, but as long as they can keep that vibe going for seasons after that, I'm okay with that. It does suck because I don't really know what happened with Bo DeMaio, but it is what it is.
if it is good and I like it, I'm sticking with it. So, I mean, I don't really care if he's dropped off or not by then.
Staggervorce says, I think Jared might play an attorney who represents Soldier Boy. Okay, that was going to be a lot of fun to see them together in the courtroom. That'll be hilarious. So who is Misha going to play then? If he's going to play the attorney?
Funny if Misha is going to play like an angel type superhero.
You don't think that's too on the nose? You don't think people will be like this?
I like angel powers, you know, like supernatural, like have superpowers in general.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. Yeah, might be fine.
And he's trying to fight Soldier Boy.
Oh, where is it at here? The quality, yeah, keep the quality up, Darth is in for sure. Maestro says there was a Scooby-Doo crossover, which is the only episode of Supernatural I've seen. Did you see that episode with Scooby-Doo?
Yes.
Okay.
I like the fourth wall break where Dean looks to the camera and goes, Scooby-Doo!
All right, here we go. Keeping the animation stuff. Jeff Trammell says he pitched 4 seasons of Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man to Marvel Studios. I came in with, I could tell 4 seasons of this easily, and now that's evolved to however long they want me to do it. I'm ready. Have you watched this cartoon yet? I forget to ask you if you finished it, because I don't know if you finished the whole thing or not. Okay.
Yeah.
I know we talked about it, but I lose track because I'm on so many different streams.
Anything Spider-Man and Deadpool, most likely I'm watching it.
This was so superhero-y. It was so comic booky. I just loved it. I love the whole thing. And Jeff cleared up his comments here because I think he wanted to be more transparent. Just to clarify, I didn't pitch 4 seasons. I had enough story points I wanted to explore that I felt I could do 4 seasons of the show. And that was as we were fleshing it out, the world for season 1. That's evolved to even more things I'd love to dig into if given the opportunity. If the other seasons are as strong as season 1, I don't see why they wouldn't keep doing this. It seems like it's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm totally down for that. So keep going, Jeff. Let's see, what else do we have here? So, hold on, where the Wonder Woman game, there's an update on this. So did you see, I made a video on it because we didn't get a chance to talk about it. The news came out on Tuesday, but they canceled the Wonder Woman game that was announced back in 2021.
I was actually looking forward to that.
Me too. But it also had me a little bit worried because I'm like, if they're willing to cancel a game that's been in production for years, they'll cancel anything. They don't care really at that point. So that had me a little bit concerned.
Bye-bye Wolverine.
Yeah. Yeah. So this says details on Wonder Woman cancellation and closure of Monolith Productions, which they also closed 3 game studios. So it's like Wonder Woman was canceled, 3 game studios were closed. Wonder Woman is going to have a nemesis system in reverse where you would talk to people and befriend them as allies. This was eventually scrapped as it was rebooted. Now, I didn't realize this, but actually it had been through a few cycles since 2021. Okay, it says here, Wonder Woman began production in May, June of 2021, but was rebooted in late 2023, so a couple years later. The game changed directors and became a more traditional, I guess it's Gears of War style action-adventure game. I don't know if I would have minded that. Like, I don't think that would have been a problem for me, but I'm guessing that they felt in that way that it was too far away from what they had actually wanted the game to be in the beginning. Because if you look at the original concept of the game versus this updated concept of the game, it's very different. It's not as story driven. It's just an action adventure game, which I don't think the studio wanted to do that. I think they wanted something more traditional.
Would you say that it's more like a kind of like every decision you make drives the story? Like
yeah. So the reverse nemesis thing was instead of like making enemies, you make friends. So if you go around and you talk to characters, they join you in like a party situation. So you go around and you do things and they can help you with stuff, things like that. And you kind of create the world. It's like interacting with characters and changing the world around you, and it changes the story of the world around you. Whereas if it's like a Gears of War action style game, there's less story and it's more about the fighting part of it, like going around and doing battles and stuff like that.
So it's kind of like an RPG.
Yes. Yeah. Monolith reportedly wasn't interested in making another Lord of the Rings game after their new original IP was canceled by Warner Brothers in 2021. Monolith's entire leadership team and many devs quit. So that was pretty interesting. I didn't know that until now. Monolith was forced to work on Wonder Woman while rebuilding their staff and leadership team at the same time, which was an impossible situation. So there was something going on in the studio that was like a perfect storm of bad things happening. So it's like they had to hire people, rebuild people, also work on this game, which was already being delayed in the process. And a lot of this had to do with Warner Brothers not really knowing how to manage their company, manage the gaming studios, basically. Wonder Woman was canceled due to 2024 being a horrible year for Warner Brothers games. This is it right here. They lost $200 million on Suicide Squad and another $100 million on Multiversus and Quidditch Champions, which I looked at both those games. I'm familiar with Multiversus, but I didn't know much about the Quidditch Champions game. I never saw anything.
Sounds like a Harry Potter.
Yeah, it was, but I don't remember. Was it a mobile game? I don't know. This plus the reboot is what led to the cancellation, closure of the studio, and ousting of their CEO. Monolith devs had no knowledge. This is the fucked up part. Had no knowledge of the studio's closure. They learned about it on Tuesday shortly before we did. So basically, they found out it was getting closed as the press release was coming out.
It looks like it's a PlayStation 5 game.
The Quidditch game?
Yeah.
Really? It was a PlayStation game? I never even saw this game advertised to me. I didn't even know it existed. Maybe the problem with Warner Brothers is the same thing they've been having issues with all this time, which is the way to advertise their stuff. Maybe that's the problem. Either way, it sucks because I was looking forward to the Wonder Woman game.
However, Suicide Squad makes sense.
Yeah.
Lots
Yeah.
so much.
Yeah. I'm only bringing this up because people wanted me to talk about it. You know how I feel about like all these budgeting things or whatever. And to be honest, I don't care much about Snow White. I'm not one of these channels making nonstop Snow White videos. Snow White is on track to earn a solid $53 million on its domestic box office opening weekend. The film had a $200 million budget. I mean, barring any major catastrophes, I think this movie will make its budget back.
Basically, with all kids movies, they're going to make the money back. It's directed at kids, not like.
Oh yeah, it is. It's definitely a kids movie. Yeah,
adults. So I think it's going to draw in kids. So I think.
But 3Dub, that's why I find it so weird that so many adult channels are talking about this movie. Like, why do you give a shit? It's a kids movie. Why do you care that Rachel Zegler doesn't like you? Like, why do you care about that? It doesn't matter.
I mean, I will watch it because I'm a fan of Disney, so I'll be seated, but I'm probably going to be like the only one in the theater because I'm going to basically at 9:00.
See what Anthony says? Look at Mufasa; it's made the money back. That's the thing is, I think honestly that the obsession with the amount of money these movies are making when you're not someone that benefits from the money it's making is such a weird thing.
What's kind of interesting is like you can have like 4 different kids movies and still it made its budget back because you had like Mufasa, was it Moana and Sonic 3?
Yeah,
like going at the same time, and all 3 of them became success. Not like huge success. Moana 2 and Mufasa were borderline. Well, Moana 2 was definitely successful, but Mufasa and Sonic 3 still made money. Enough money to get a sequel with Sonic 3 in particular.
Yeah, 100%. By the way, I want to give a shout out to the chat and the Reloaded channel. You guys hit the goal. So that means for my birthday stream on the 8th, we're going to have some fun snacks that I will be taste testing. Pagey's going to pick them. So he's probably going to make me eat stuff that's hopefully not disgusting.
Like cranberry.
We'll see. We'll see what happens.
That was weird. Taste of Sprite.
That was bad. I will never do that again. That was so disgusting. Let's see here. This one's interesting. So Mattel has won back the highly coveted toy rights for DC characters. After having lost them in 2018 to rivals Spin Master and McFarlane, the deal comes into effect starting in the second half of 2026. Are you a toy collector of like this level? Does this something that you think about, or is it more like you just buy stuff that you want when you see it?
I'm kind of like a collector of certain movies. Like if it's the DCU, I want to collect all the DCU characters and leave nothing out. If it's like, if I have to, I hate like breaking things up. So I have to buy them all or not.
This is going to be interesting because if you look at like McFarlane, that's a high-end toy market. They make like the expensive statues and the expensive figures and stuff like that. Mattel is more of like the kids' toys, like the things you would see in like Target and Walmart and stuff like that. So I'm curious if this is because maybe this is my brain doing things it shouldn't be doing, but I wonder if this was more or less they wanted to get into that market before the DCU started, because they want to have figures for all the movies and TV shows.
Well, they would have to like be like McFarlane, like have high quality kind of like structured to where where 30-year-olds can collect them and not feel like being laughed at by a kid.
Yeah, but I mean, I think they want to sell them to collectors, but they also want kids to buy them as well. Because Superman, think about this: the crypto toy, that's gonna sell. Kids are gonna buy crypto, like 100%. So, no, my birthday is next week. It's on Thursday of next week, so I'm doing a birthday stream on Saturday. So, which by the way, there will be no Nerdcast next Thursday night. So we'll have a Nerdcast on Monday, and then I'll probably have one on Wednesday night, but there will be no Thursday stream. So the birthday stream will be on Saturday. Even though my birthday is on Thursday, the stream will be on Saturday. Naruto says, your bench of Daredevil, did you include? Yes. Yeah. I watched Defenders as Daredevil season 2.5 because it continues the storyline from Daredevil. So
Basically, I like the full story, so I will watch them all in chronological order.
but I think maybe that's weird of us. I talked about this to Paigey, and I think he doesn't do this, but I'm a completionist. I like to watch everything. I like to know everything about stuff when I'm watching it. So I try my best to find everything I can on something so I can watch it all. So like when I watch the MCU stuff, it's really hard for me to go back and watch them out of order because when I want to watch something, it's like I watch them in the order that they were made in instead of like watching them out of order. Like if I'm going to watch Captain America, I'm not going to do like Captain America 1, 2, and 3. I have to do it in the order that the Captain America movies were in the MCU because I feel like I miss out on all the little stuff that happens in between those movies. So
like as soon as after Avengers, I'm going to Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Oh, I love that show. It's so good.
Because that's when it
So
starts.
good. Yeah. All right. So, what else do we have here? Some Harry Potter stuff here. So HBO's Harry Potter series runtime was confirmed. We'll have 8 hours to tell the first book so we can dig into the real depths and crevices in the language of the magic can evolve. So 8 hours, I think it's 8 episodes, right? Chat, correct me if I'm wrong, 3Dub, do you know it's 8 episodes?
Yeah.
So each episode is going to be an hour in length then, is what they're saying, pretty much.
It also like I think each season is going to be a year too, so it's going to be 8-hour years. So compared to the movie, which was 2 hours long.
Right. I think, and I know people look, if you want to boycott this because you don't like J.K. Rowling, I get it. If you're not into Harry Potter, I get it. I'm not a big Harry Potter fan either, but I think this is going to be a big success for HBO. I think this is going to be a really big series for HBO. Look, and it might not be good in season 2, but I think people are going to tune in and watch season 1.
Yeah,
Now,
Chamber of Secrets wasn't a really good one.
Yeah,
in the movie, but I did like Prisoner of Azkaban. So
yeah,
that's the third one.
I think I prefer shows with runtimes that give you a lot of time to actually dive into the series, pretty much. All right. We got some Star Wars news, 3Dub. I know your favorite stuff to talk about, Star Wars.
Speaking of out of order, I did watch them like normally, like 4, 5, and 6, then 1, 2, and 3, and 7, 8, and 9, just like everyone else. But if I have to rewatch it, I'm doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Okay. This is a question I ask everybody when they talk about this. Chat, I want you to answer as well. Everybody in the chat, I want you to answer this as well. What is the ideal viewing order of Star Wars? Is it watching it in the order it's supposed to be watched in chronologically, or is it watching it in the order that it was released in theaters?
I think the order of release first, and then, but at the same time, I'm like, if a newbie was like said to, if a person that hasn't seen it before comes up to me and says, how should I watch Star Wars? I'll be like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm not going to like, basically, I'm not going to give them a spoiler for Darth Vader. Because that's like the highlight of episode 3, where he turns to the dark side. So for me, it's like I want him to feel like he's watching it, like and not knowing what's going to happen. But at the same time, as a Star Wars fan, I'm like 4, 5, and 6, 1, 2, and 3, 7, 8, 9.
Well, I would say that I believe the reveal of Darth Vader being Luke's father is probably the biggest moment in all of those 3 films, like in that for the first 3 films. But you know that already if you're watching the prequels, because obviously they show that to you. So that moment doesn't have the same hit. Like it doesn't have that same like where Luke gets upset hearing that for the first time, because we already know as the viewers.
Remind me, did they actually say his name Anakin in the series, in the original series?
I don't know if they did it in the original movie, like the first movie.
Because it was like your father was a pilot or whatever.
I have to go back and watch because I don't remember. The chat probably knows. Chad, did they mention Anakin by name before it was revealed that Darth Vader was Luke's father?
I don't even think they mentioned it after. I think all we got was like his last name, Skywalker. Because that would make sense that Luke Skywalker, if it
Return of the Jedi. It says Return of the Jedi. They mentioned
Return of the Jedi. Okay.
I don't remember. Like, I felt like it was afterwards, so I guess that is right. That would have been with the Ewoks and everything. Bobby says Star Wars Episode 3 Revenge of the Sith is the greatest Star Wars movie of all time. Wow.
That duel was.
Which one are you talking? The Duel of Fates?
The duel on Mustafar.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Now, you know what? Now, you guys, I swear to God. So I have all the Star Wars stuff, like the expanded, like the full cuts with all the original stuff in it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to have to go back and watch those now because now I'm thinking, like, what am I forgetting? So I'm going to have to go back and watch it. Anyway, getting to this news over here. Sean Levy's Star Wars films, starring Ryan Gosling. We talked about this. I'm not sure what that means for the movie. Standalone film, so it's not going to connect or overlap with anything else. At least not in a major way. Set around 5 to 6 years after Episode 9.
What's funny about this, right?
Yeah.
It's standalone.
Right.
But even if it's standalone, it's still connected overall. Like,
oh, it is, but I think it means that you don't have to watch any other Star Wars stuff to.
well,
like,
true, but I mean, like,
so.
it's starting a new like point, but at the same time, it's like
3Dub, let's be honest. Are you going to watch a Star Wars movie without ever watching any Star Wars before it, just because it has Ryan Gosling in it? Do you think that's really going to be the case? I don't think so. I don't think that's real. But look, it says standalone, but it says may bring back some sequel trilogy characters. So why the fuck are you bringing back characters into a standalone movie when nobody's going to know who the fuck they are? If you truly believe it's going to be standalone, why would you do that?
Well, I the only one I can see is like Rey, because she makes sense. But they would have to age her up a little. Well, not 5 to 6.
Well, 5 to 6 years, it wouldn't be so much. They could just change her hair.
It technically is 5 to 6 years since the last one.
That is true. That is true. So they don't have to age her up. She just looks 5 to 6 years older. Yep. And it will be the next Star Wars film to start production. So this is all confirmed. I think all of this sounds interesting. It sounds interesting. But 3Dub, what happens if there's no Jedis in it?
Well, guess it's gonna lose one. Just kidding.
I know how you feel about that, so I'm pretty sure.
Like I said, if it was Han Solo, like a character like Han Solo, I would be watching that film no matter what, even though it doesn't have Jedi, because Han Solo is an interesting character. It overlaps the non Star Wars aspects of the show.
Right.
So when I like what's his name? Andor. We already knew he was dead.
Mm-hmm.
I hate that. I'm like,
because you know no matter what happens on the show, he's eventually going to get killed off.
I'm like,
right?
You ruined the whole thing for me. I'm like, if you never did Rogue One, I would be watching it and enjoying it a little bit more.
Right.
But because you told me the end, I'm like, there's no point investing my
3Dub, you're preaching to the choir, because I've said that for a long time. That was one of my issues with Agent Carter, was we know what happens to all of those characters. So when I'm watching the show, there's no mystery to me where they end up, because we already know where they end up. You know what I mean? But I had to like just take that out of my mind to watch the show, because I think it's a good show, but we know where all of those characters end up in the MCU. We know the direction of all of those characters.
It's for me, I know it's a good show. I don't like, I'm not saying it's a bad show, but at the same time, I'm like, I have a pet peeve about knowing something ahead of time.
Harrison says, hear me out, Star Wars, but Speed Racer. Do you like Speed Racer? Did you ever see the Speed Racer movie?
Yes. Is that the one that like looks like a cartoon?
Yes.
It was intended? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Done by the people that made The Matrix, which is kind of interesting.
I kind of wanted it as a kid. I kind of wanted a sequel from that, because it felt like a sequel.
Yeah. So Shortcar said this was also a problem I had with the arrow flash forwards because you find out what happens with the characters. I guess it's talking about the end of the series.
And what's funny, they were trying to be extremely vague about it.
Yeah. Neon Zephyr says if they lean into the Wachowski Speed Racer feel, I'd love it. Yeah. Look, Neon says the Speed Racer movie was underrated. So there we go. All right, so let's talk about these Superman reshoots, and then we're going to watch some trailers. All right. So this came out about Superman having some reshoots based on, like, I've seen so many videos about this, so I'm glad that James Gunn actually cleared the air on this. So this is what. Go ahead, 3Dub.
Oh, I was like, and the budget is now $500 million.
Yeah. So James Gunn says we've done screenings, we've done real screenings. We're definitely learning stuff all the time, definitely editing and making little changes. You know, we might shoot a couple little tiny things. I used to be kind of against it because, you know, you don't want to have to shoot again. It's a pain in the ass, but as time has gone on, I've made more movies. I really like being able to say, you know what, I wish I had a shot that fist hitting that. And so I do tend to go back and pick up that kind of stuff. So it wouldn't be anything major, but those kinds of things, yeah, I'll cover up a couple more things like that. So he's just saying, like, very small things, like pick up shots and small reshoots is basically what he's talking about here. But you know, people are going to be like, he had to reshoot the whole movie because the screenings were so bad. He reshot the entire second and third act of the film, and now it's completely different than the way it was. I feel like that's what's coming next, right? That's just going to be the
No, that's Captain America 4.
Yes, but Captain America's third act was definitely changed. But I don't feel like that's happening with Superman. I don't think that's the same thing.
I also didn't have a problem with it, so.
Not me. I didn't necessarily have an issue with it either, but it is obviously they changed some of it.
It wasn't like, oh my god, it's so horrible. No, it wasn't like that.
Right. All right. So actually, we have one more thing before we watch trailers. And this is about Kathleen Kennedy. It's the update to Kathleen Kennedy in Star Wars. So if you remember, we talked about it. It was kind of breaking news on Monday that she was retiring.
I knew this was going to come next.
You did? You knew there was going to be like a clarification.
Yeah, I was like, if she's been retiring for the past 10 years. I mean,
right. So I made a video talking about it because they had mentioned who they thought could take over for her. And we talked about I think it was like 3 different people. And then J.J. Abrams was kind of thrown in there or whatever. And I still stand by all my comments on that. Like, I still feel like if she's going to step down from the role, I still feel my opinion of those 3 guys is the same. But it says here that she says she's not retiring. Now, she did an interview. We're not going to read the whole interview, but these are the most important parts of that interview. I will never retire from making movies. I will die making movies. That's some real gangster shit right there. Like, she's talking about, like, I'm 71 and I'm going to keep making movies until I'm 171 years old. And I've been dealing with the cyberbullying all my life, so yeah, which I think is interesting. Which actually goes against the narrative that a lot of the channels had, where they were saying that she was fired by Lucasfilm. She was fired by Disney. All of this drama and chaos behind the scenes is why she's being forced to retire. But here she's saying, no, I'm going to keep making movies. And it even goes on to say more. She's producing several upcoming Star Wars projects, so her name is attached to more than one thing beyond 2025.
Mm-hmm.
She started talking with Disney about a succession plan, and it could be a year before a decision is announced. So we're talking about her stepping away from that role in Lucasfilm, but still producing movies. So she's just not going to be the person in charge of all of it.
And even though 7, 8, and 9 weren't like great, they still made money. And I honestly, I didn't like the first time watching them. I didn't have a problem with it until I started thinking about it. All of a sudden, it became a problem. Then you're like, well, wait, hold on. Okay, I was like, okay, I get the hidden meaning behind the lightsaber throw. Okay, I didn't like that.
All right. And the last thing she says here, she's going to stay on at Lucasfilm to assist whoever takes over. So no matter who fills her role, she's going to be there advising that person while they're doing the job. So this tells me that all of the guys out there, we know who we're talking about here. We're talking about like the Nerdrotic guys, the Critical Drinker guys, the Geeks and Gamer guys, saying that she was forced out. You guys are all liars. You're all liars. And all of this outrage stuff is so frustrating because even if you don't like everything she's done, a lot of the stuff she's overseen at Star Wars has been good stuff. Like I would say, The Mandalorian is good. Like that's something that she was overseeing when she was at Lucasfilm. Well, she's still there. So while she's still at Lucasfilm, currently she's still overseeing things that people like. So I think it's a little weird.
It's kind of funny to see all these channels like make up like scenarios. Like she was forced out and all this, and now they're like basically. She's not, and they're being basically they've been caught in their own lie.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, like that's a slap in the face if any other.
Okay, so now we got a couple trailers to watch. Have you seen these trailers yet, 3Dub?
No.
All right, so
I've been watching anime all day, so yeah.
I would say the Shrek one, unless there's a different one, it's only 30 seconds long. I think the Shrek one is just sort of a teaser. And people are mad because they say Shrek looks different.
I'll take the judge of that.
So we're going to look at this and let's see what you think. Are you a Shrek fan?
I have watched them all, so I mean, like, I will basically complain if Shrek looks different.
All right, so 3Dub, I want you to pay close attention to this trailer, okay? Here we go. This is the Shrek 5 announcement trailer. I want you to be very honest about your feelings on Shrek after we watch this. If you're watching this on playback, you know the routine. It's very possible this could be missing from the playback. However, 3Dub's rant and destruction and tearing down of Shrek will still be here. So here we go.
Hey, Magic Mirror, who's the fairest of them all? Why, Shrek, of course.
Ah! Ew, Dad.
Woohoo, Mom and Light.
Who's making this stuff?
Not me!
Whoa! All right, we're going to stop it there because it's playing All-Star. Is there another picture here of Shrek, or is that it? No, it's just all the teaser stuff. All right, so let's go back. What do you think of these designs, 3Dub? Because these are very different from the original.
He does look different, but it's not like extremely well, it's extremely noticeable for me, but it's not like off-putting.
Right.
However, the mirror side, it looked off-putting. Donkey looks more like not Donkey.
That's the thing, is they changed Donkey quite a lot. Shrek's face looks very different to me.
Is Cameron Diaz back as Fiona?
Let's see. I know that Zendaya is playing in this as well. Eddie Murphy. Yep. Cameron Diaz and Zendaya, I believe. Am I right here? Yeah. Zendaya also.
She's probably the daughter.
Yes, I believe so. Chat, how are we feeling on this? On this teaser, we got a scale. You know what? Matter of fact, let's do a poll. Let's do a poll, 3Dub. I'm curious. Let's do a poll. Start a poll. Shrek 5 trailer. Good or bad or nah? All right. We're going to do this for a minute. I'm curious.
Speaking of, I wasn't here like the last stream. So do you want me to hear my top 5 non-superhero movies?
Yeah, but we'll do that in a second though, because we have one more trailer.
I still have that.
Right. Let's see. The Debunks channel. You guys want to answer the poll? Let's do it over there too. I want to see what you guys are feeling over here on the Debunks channel. We'll do a poll. Start a poll. Let's do this. Shrek 5. Good. Bad. Don't care. There we go. You guys can vote over there. All right. Her name is Felicia. Oh, wait, hold on. Her name is Felicia apparently too. Oh boy, you know they're going to do a Bye Felicia reference. No! That's from like 10 years ago. Nobody's still doing Bye Felicia.
The last time I heard Bye Felicia was in NCIS LA, where Deeks said it to his partner, Kinsey.
Oh gosh.
Been a minute.
That's such an old reference.
It's been a minute. I'm like
reference.
Trying to remember NCIS LA characters because it's like it ended back in 2014.
Oh, okay. All right. Let's see. We also have there's a new trailer for Minecraft. Now this one I think is a little bit longer. Let's see. 10 hours ago. Yeah, it's a 2-minute and 30-second trailer. So this is the full-on deal. All right. I'll be doing a poll for this as well, so you guys don't worry. Don't worry. We'll do one for
2023.
all right. So this is the new Minecraft trailer. Hold on, let's close these tabs. I got a few tabs open.
Oh, look, it's Poe. And Poe 2.
All right. Again, you know the routine, yada yada yada. It could be missing, blah blah blah. Let's watch this.
It's Kung Fu.
Don't worry. I'm gonna cushion our fall with this water bucket.
I will say already though, because again, I haven't seen the whole trailer, so I don't know what these characters are going to look like. The more realistic looking block characters are very creepy. Like the pandas, even though they're supposed to be cute, they're a little bit creepy. Just a little bit.
That night scene, it felt like a horror movie.
I don't know how I feel about this, but we'll see. Let's continue.
In the overworld, wow, anything you can dream about, you can create.
So they built all this?
Yeah.
This is my first time seeing what the people look like. Oh, this is nightmare fuel. Look at their noses.
Squidward.
Chat, is this good or bad? How am I supposed to feel about this? This is very creepy. Hold on, let's go back a
How
little
did
bit.
the game look, though? Was it worse?
It's pixelated, so you don't really get definition like that. I mean, fair enough. It's creepy, though. It's creepy. Maybe it's supposed to be.
Wow. Anything you can dream about, you can create.
So they built all this?
Yeah, most of it.
Hold on.
That thing doesn't understand a word you're saying.
We're talking.
Life here was perfect. Until one day, flint and steel, we came across the Nether. A place with no joy or creativity at all.
Okay, so the funny thing is, I actually think that the people in the village are creepier than the things in the void or the nether or whatever. Like, these don't look as creepy because they're less realistic, but the ones that are hyper realistic look creepier to me. Maybe that's just me. Maybe that's just me. I don't know.
You! What are you making? Oh! If they get their way, this beautiful world and everything in it will wither and die.
Bio con Dios. It means goodbye, brother.
No, it doesn't.
Don't look at her. It does.
Okay, that was a funny joke. That was funny. I have to give him that. Here comes music though, so it's gonna get. This is 100% gonna get copyright claim because there's music in it.
Want to save this world? Creativity is key to survival. Now what? Elytra wingsuits.
Bye-bye. Those things work, right?
Absolutely. Coming in hot!
I got something for you.
I love a blue house.
Okay, I just want to put this out there. I feel like this movie doesn't really serve a purpose. Does that make sense? Like, it feels very like just the game in VR, kind of. You know what I mean? Like, it's like you're playing the game in VR. Maybe? I don't know.
It kind of feels like a bunch of anime I watch where they become like other, basically, they get transported to the realm of what they're basically like. They're called corner heroes, and they get summoned from the fantasy world from the real world.
Mhm.
So it kind of feels like that.
Mm.
I don't know how they got there though.
I feel like we're in a weird place with games and movies where, like, for example, I play a lot of games that have a lot of story in it. So for me, it's already kind of a movie. Does that make sense? It's like I'm already watching a story while I'm playing it. And they want to kind of get the casual people to come into that world to see what that world is like. I'm guessing and hoping that it not only makes money as a movie, but it might make them interested in playing the games.
One thing that it kind of reminds me of is Sword Art Online. Have you seen that one?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of that, where they get sucked into a game.
Right. All right, let's see.
Oh my gosh, I'm so salty.
This place makes no sense. Let's do this.
They want me to fight the chicken? Chicken jockey!
All right, I don't want to play any more music already because it'll already get hit. Let me see, is there anything else after that? Yeah, let's skip over.
Chicken jockey. Are you serious?
Oh no, not again.
Oh my god.
Oh, I
my
love
God.
Jennifer.
Are you all right?
I love this lady.
Your head is huge.
Okay.
Wait. So
Yeah.
they're going into the real world now?
Yeah, I think that's ultimately what's going to happen is we're going to see like Minecraft people cross over into the real world. That's interesting to me. That to me is a little bit more interesting than people going into the Minecraft world because you can already do that. When you play the game, you're already doing that. But the Minecraft people coming into the real world, that seems kind of interesting to me, personally.
It's kind of it's kind of like the Mario movie where Mario was a plumber that just happened to go down a tube and go into the Mario world.
Right. All right, let's all right, we're coming up at the end of the stream, but let's see what people have voted for on the poll about the Shrek 5 trailer. Okay, and the Reloaded channel and in the Debunks channel. All right. All right, on the Reloaded channel, you guys have voted 36% say bad and 36% don't care. 26% said good, so it's a tie. Over on my Debunks channel, 83% said good, 16% said don't care, and 0% said bad.
How many people voted though?
Let's see. We had 19 votes over here and 6 votes over there.
6 votes make sense why I say 3%.
All right, so we're going to do this. How about this? Minecraft trailer. Thoughts? We'll let this stay up for a few minutes here. Good. Bad. And we're going to do something different. We're going to put meh. Good, bad, meh. Let's do that. We'll go over here on the Debunks channel. We're going to do a poll over here.
I would say, like, compared to Shrek versus Snow White dwarves, I like Shrek better. So.
Oh, really? Okay.
Even though it's changed a lot, I'm still going to probably watch it.
South Texas Shark says there was a Minecraft documentary. It was pretty great. I haven't checked that out. Right now, I'm kind of watching. What am I watching now? Deal or No Deal Island. Like I watch it while I'm playing games, so it's kind of on in the background. I'm talking about stuff outside of the normal stuff that I watch. So Deal or No Deal Island, and I've always loved Survivor. It's the one reality show that I watch no matter what. And right now I'm watching Australian Survivor with a VPN, and the new US season starts next week, I believe. All right, so while we're waiting for these poll results, 3Dub, now is your opportunity to tell us your top 5 favorite non-comic book / superhero movies.
And these are actually in order.
Oh, they're in order. Okay, so let's do it.
Number 1 is The Martian from
Okay.
2015 with Matt Damon. It was like I have not stopped watching it. I can watch that on binge. The extended version gives you more detail and what happens and more explanation. But it's like, and for me, it's the best sci-fi space movie I can think of.
Okay.
Second one is Interstellar.
Reasons? You're gonna give your reason why?
I like this. I like the space travel in the sense like
the different planets and stuff like that.
Yeah, basically like the thriller of it being like trapped on another world and no way home in a sense, and like all hope is gone. I kind of like those kind of thrillers. Third one is Ready Player One.
Okay.
I extremely like what they did with that. I'm like, the guy must have like begged like all these IPs. It's like, can we use you?
I mean, what do you think about the about them including so many references in it? What do you think about that?
I loved it. I'm extremely like looking forward to the second one. They made a second book. I'm hoping they're going to continue to put that in development to make a sequel movie. Because it was announced that they are doing a sequel movie, so I'm kind of like wanting that. I know the second one isn't as great as the first one, but at the same time, I still want to see it because it deserves a sequel. The fourth one is Oblivion. It's a Tom Cruise. It's a Tom Cruise movie. It's basically what happens when the world ends. Basically, Tom Cruise basically on the brink of the only survivors, and he's basically a clone of a clone of a clone of a clone. So
that's a good one. That's a good one. No, I agree with that.
And my fifth one is Ender's Game. Again, another sci-fi
really.
movie. Yeah.
Wasn't that supposed to be a series of movies?
Yes, and also it doesn't fully follow the book. That I heard some person said last week. But yeah, I was never into the books, so I watched the movie not knowing anything about the books. So I kind of liked, and it was a Harrison Ford movie too. I think he was in it. He was he wasn't. For me, it felt like really cool how they did the space fighting laser tag scene. That was cool, and how they explain space where it's not really, there's no upside. There's no, you could be up and you could be down at the same time.
Yeah. Okay, well that's cool. I like all those choices. So that's great. Yeah. All right. So let's see what the chat said about this Minecraft trailer 3-dub. We'll start with the Debunks chat. Let's see where their mind is. All right. The Minecraft trailer on the Debunks channel has, let's do this live chat. 66% said good, 33% said meh, and 0% said bad. All right. So that's on the Debunks channel. Let's see what you folks over at Reloaded have done in the poll there. And let's see what the final thoughts are. 38% said meh. It tied again. 38% said meh. 38%, or no, it didn't tie. Never mind. 38% said meh. 33% said bad. 28% said good. So nobody they didn't like the Shrek or the Minecraft trailer over here on the Reloaded channel. So
both are for me is meh. I'm still going to watch it no matter what.
Yeah. All right, so we are coming up on the 2-hour mark, and I am getting sleepy. I had D&D tonight, so I'm tired. But I thank everybody for coming through and supporting the channel on both of my channels. Thank you so much. Here's the big thing. After my birthday, and I might even start before my birthday, we're going to try broadcasting on 3 channels. Some people have wanted me to bring Twitch back. So I might actually broadcast on YouTube and Twitch. We'll see. Let me know in the comments here if you would like for me to do that, because I know some people like Twitch because they can donate over there without using super chats. So if that's something people would like, definitely let me know. And over on Twitch, the stuff that I use that's copyrighted doesn't get clipped out usually. So some people like that too.
You probably talked to us about this at the beginning because I came in around 11:30, 11. What do you think about the new StreamYard layout?
Which part of it?
It has scenes now.
Yeah, you can add pictures or add photos. Like if I wanted to do an image file.
No, not that. There's something on the side now.
What? Scenes?
Yeah. From my when I logged into StreamYard, it had a new layout. Basically, there was like, I can. No, I can't. I was going I was like, I can probably show you. But no, it has like, you know what OBS? You know, you can change the scenes and stuff.
Yeah.
It basically has that.
I don't think I have it on mine.
You don't have it yet? Oh, dang.
No, I don't think I have that yet. But I can do stuff like that over here. Like, be right back. Look at this. I have all that over here because I use a virtual webcam now for this one. So, South Tech Shark, I like to see more DJ streams. Well, I'll have you know that I literally am almost done. I don't think you can see it very well, but if I turn my camera here, look right behind the monitor. That is my DJ setup with my laptop and all of that stuff. So I will be doing more DJ.
How big is that room of yours?
Well, it's not very big, but I've become very good at like sort of setting up. There's a green screen wall over there for me to do green screen stuff. So
it's like I would be claustrophobic, right?
Yeah.
Like it's getting so small.
After we end the stream though, you can show me what the scene thing is because I don't see it on mine. But I will say, like, if I want to bring up a picture, like I can do a image file. So this is one of the new things they've added. So say for example, I wanted to do, hold on, let me see if I find something to share. Where is it at? So if I wanted to share 3Dub's favorite TV show, just kidding. Hold on, where is it at?
I can't find something.
It's okay. So like, look, if I wanted to share this to the screen, I can do that now. That's a photo directly from my computer. There was a time where you couldn't do that.
Yeah,
so,
and also you can do about 10 files too.
Yeah.
But I actually can show it.
All right.
See that on the end where it says scenes? It's on the left side.
Oh. I don't have that on mine.
Yeah, it's a new thing.
Oh. Well, I think he might have the higher tier one than I do.
No, it's the cheapest one. I don't think it's like available to everyone.
Why would the cheapest one get it before because I'm paying for the mid-level one?
Probably the location. Like certain people are getting the beta testing it. Like certain select people. I think they're picky.
Okay. All right. Well, 3Dub, thank you for hanging out tonight. I do appreciate it. Thank everybody in the chat for being here. We'll see where things go in terms of Twitch. I haven't made my mind up yet. But anyway, I'm going to drop 3Dub out so it isn't awkward as it always is. So 3Dub's heading down into the background there. Actually, I'll leave 3Dub up and then I'll just make myself solo layout. There we go. So you can still chat if you want. But anyway, thanks everybody for being here. Again, I'm going to test around with doing streams on Twitch as well. We'll see what happens in regard to that. But for now, I'm going to close the stream out. Thank you guys so much for being here. I do appreciate it. We will be back again on Monday night and then a special stream night on Wednesday. So you can join me then. So make sure you guys get locked in. Don't get geeked out. Get locked in. And we'll see everyone next time. Take care.